Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today is the 17th of Jan 2023. Now the global cryptocurrency market is definitely pumped up, but it is still below the $1 trillion mark. Now there are two massive news that is going on in the cryptocurrency world, and the first news is about Binance, and Binance BNB chain has burned over $500 million in BNB token till date. And in today's episode, we are going to be discussing what happens when cryptocurrency protocols decide to burn the tokens or cryptocurrencies. So essentially it just means less or reduced supply, which eventually means more demand. Now the big question is, can central bank digital currencies use the burning mechanism to better manage inflation? So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that in today's episode. Now regarding CBDC, we do have some news regarding Georgia, and looks like the National Bank of Georgia is definitely moving towards central bank digital currencies. So we'll very briefly talk about that. And the second news that is going on in the Ethereum world is the Ethereum Validator count has surpassed 500,000. Now will that have an impact on the price of Ethereum? I definitely don't think so, but when the hard fork is nearing, there might definitely be some price action for the first world computer, that is Ethereum. Now in today's episode, we have some really interesting news from West, and this is to do with weed. And looks like cannabis is going to go into blockchain as well. And Dailycon has published a report, so we'll definitely go ahead and discuss that in today's episode. Now, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, we're going to be covering two news from UAE. And the first news is about DMCC, that is Dubai Multi Commodities Centre, and they plan to boost Mena region's $32 billion e-commerce sector. Now listen guys, if you're working in the cryptocurrency, blockchain, metaverse, or Web 3.0 space, you definitely need to check it out. And DMCC has been making massive news, particularly in these areas. And the second news is regarding a school from China, and they have launched the first global unicorn programs with its first stop in Dubai. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that in today's episode. So let's kickstart today's episode. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as we kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE, and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE, and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE, and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE, and Middle East region. Now, before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly, guys, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called Rise in the Obstacle Course Race, and Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, since we've taken care of that, let's kickstart the episode by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now listen, guys, since the last 24 hours, the prices of few cryptocurrencies have definitely gone up. But overall, the global crypto market is relatively the same, and it is possible in the next few hours, it just might cross the $1 trillion mark. Now, as of today, 16th of Jan, the global cryptocurrency market is at $991.82 billion. And listen, guys, a few days ago, the global cryptocurrency market was at $998 billion, but it went down to $980 billion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 1.62%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $45.89 billion. Now, look, guys, if the global cryptocurrency market needs to cross the $1 trillion mark, the cryptocurrency market volume has to hover somewhere between the $80 to $120 billion mark. That being said, since the last 24 hours, it is down by 11.33%. The total volume in DeFi has also gone down to $3.68 billion. And as of today, the total value locked is $45.23 billion, with Lido leading the race with 17.19% and $7.78 billion is locked in its protocol. Now, DeFi accounts for 8.02% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Yesterday, I believe, it was in the 9% range. Now, MakerDAO is number 2nd at $7.04 billion locked, followed by Aave, which is at $4.57 billion, and Curve Finance at $4.36 billion. And today, once again for the second time, Uniswap has not made the top 5 list, whereas Convex Finance is at $3.85 billion. Now, you need to remember, guys, when you talk about Convex Finance, this protocol deposits into other protocol or is under liquid staking category, so it is subtracted from the total value locked because both liquid staking and double counting toggles are off. So you definitely need to remember that. Now let's look at the volume of stablecoins. Now the volume of stablecoins is ridiculously low, and unfortunately the percentage of stablecoins has gone much higher, and this is definitely not ideal. Ideally, what I'm looking at is the volume of stablecoins to be low, and it should be accounting for a lesser percentage of the total crypto market volume. Now that might not happen now. It might take at least a couple of decades for that thing to happen. But that thing being said, guys, the volume of stablecoins is $41.37 billion, and Tether USDT accounts for $30.27 billion. Circle USD is at $2.80 billion, and Binance USD at $7.74 billion. Now let's look at the market share, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's market share has definitely gone up and it is currently at $407 billion. Ethereum is well below the 50% mark of Bitcoin's market share at $191 billion. Now, once the Ethereum update happens, which is roughly around the month of March when I'll discuss, I'm pretty much sure the market share will definitely cross the 50% mark of Bitcoin's market share. Now, the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $22.36 billion. Ethereum's is at $7.46 billion. The dominance of Bitcoin has definitely gone up at 41.20%, and Ethereum is at 19.40%. Now today, guys, I'm going to be discussing a new metric, and I'm going to be looking at the number of unique active wallets interacting with DApp or decentralized app smart contracts. And the first thing that I found out is Splinterlands, and as of today, over 261,000 users are actively interacting with the DApp smart contract. But unfortunately, if you were to compare it in dollar terms, it is only roughly around $36,000, so definitely not ideal. Number second is Alien Worlds. Now listen to this, guys. The number of unique active wallets interacting with this smart contract is 229,000 users, and in terms of dollar amount, it is $1.91 billion. And finally, PancakeSwap, which has 129,000 unique active wallet users interacting with the DApp smart contract, and in terms of dollar amount, it is staggering at $52 million. Now you need to remember PancakeSwap falls under the DeFi protocol, whereas Splinterlands and Alien Worlds, they fall under the gaming category. Now so far as Splinterlands is concerned, it could be possible that they are dealing in really tiny transactions because it is a collectible trading multiplayer card game with design that will make you think of surpasses between Pokemon card games and World of Warcraft characters, and the game has developed storytelling based on mystical world built on the Steam blockchain to offer fast transactions and full transparency. So let me know, guys, if you're into this game and how often do you use its smart contract. Now let's move on to the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is $21,171, and since the last 24 hours it is up by 1.64%, and since the last 7 days it is up by 22.60%. Ethereum is at $1,566. Since the last 24 hours it is up by 1.50%. Since the last 7 days it is up by 17.82%. Binance Coin has been doing ridiculously good, and it is at $301. And today's episode we are going to kickstart by discussing how the burning mechanism could have pumped the price of Binance Coin. Now since the last 24 hours it is up by 0.70%, and since the last 7 days it is up by 7.26%. So let's start by discussing about Binance. And Binance essentially has burned over $500 million in BNB tokens since the introduction of BEP 95 or Binance Improvement Proposal 95. Over 145,000 Binance BNB has been burned under this mechanism. And listen, guys, if you want to look at the official news, Binance has put out a blog, so definitely worth reading through this. CoinDesk, they have also published an article that states over 100 million BNB, or half of its total supply, are intended to be removed from circulation through a burning process and to eventually keep only 100 million BNB in circulation. Now look, guys, the concept is pretty simple. It goes back to the basics of demand and supply. So far as Bitcoin is concerned, the supply is fixed, hence the demand keeps fluctuating. But with protocols where the supply is unlimited, the only way to manipulate that or manage it is by burning mechanism. So just to give you a very basic level understanding of what burning mechanism is, essentially these extra coins or tokens are sent to a public address which does not have a private key. So in a way it is taken out completely from the supply. Because of that, the supply gets reduced and the demand gets increased. Now listen, guys, Central Bank Digital Currencies all over the world can use burning mechanism once CBDC kicks in. And once CBDC kicks in, because of the burning mechanism, do you think it'll be easier to better manage inflation? I definitely do think so. And one thing which I did mention in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast a few weeks ago, you can also create this notion of clean CBDCs. So let's say in the future, if you do find out that certain CBDCs were used for notorious activities, and because of the immutable nature of blockchain, and because the transaction history is recorded, in case you don't want to touch these CBDCs directly or indirectly, and it could be because of ethical reasons, what central banks can do is these CBDCs, they can send it to a public address which does not have a private coin. So burning mechanism is definitely brilliant. Now listen guys, central bank digital currencies will definitely be the talk in the cryptocurrency and blockchain world, and Georgia is ready to launch its central bank digital currency called Lowry Pilot, which is spelled as L for Larry, A for Alpha, R for Roger, I for India, and they plan to do that in the first half of 2023. Now the article is published by Bitcoin.com that states that the National Bank of Georgia is going to release a digital Lowry white paper, and the Deputy Governor Papuna Lashava explained in an interview with Rustavi 2 TV channel. Now looks like what Georgia is intending to have is a cheaper, more secure and faster means of payment. But listen guys, at what cost? Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, I have released an episode on central bank digital currency where I specifically highlighted this issue, and I also discussed if CBDCs are Web 3.0 or not. So listen to that episode, you might get a comprehensive idea of what CBDCs are, the good, the bad and the ugly side of central bank digital currencies. Now guys, and let's move on to some massive news, and this is about Ethereum. So the news is Ethereum Validator count surpasses 500,000 ahead of upcoming Shanghai Hard Fork, and the number of Ethereum network validators on the Beacon chain exceeded 500,000 as of 12th of January 2023. Now listen guys, if you're a technical nerd and if you do want to get very technical information, go to YouTube and just type in Consensus Layer Meeting 101. Now Ethereum Foundation has put up a video, and surprisingly the number of views were only 12, and this video was put up at least 5 days. It looks like people haven't watched it, but definitely go through it because it does provide quite a lot of information, and they discuss a new testing network for Shanghai Upgrade, a hard fork that's anticipated to happen in March of 2023. Now, it could be possible that during that time, the market cap of Ethereum could surpass the 50% mark of Bitcoin. What are your thoughts, guys? Is that possible? Now, on that same note, an article is written by Bitcoin.com that states the developer's new testing environment is called DevNet 2, as it follows DevNet 1 released in November 2022. And the new testnet was discussed earlier in January of 5th. So the Ethereum network has exceeded 500,000 validators on the Beacon chain as of 12th of January 2023. And you need to remember, guys, that this milestone comes as Ethereum code developers are preparing for the Shanghai Hard Fork. So on January 11, 2023, Ethereum developers launched a new testing network called as DevNet 2 for Shanghai Upgrade, which is expected to happen in March of 2023. This will be an absolutely game changer, and I definitely feel it's going to have a positive impact on the price of Ethereum. And the new testnet is focused on stake withdrawals. So Ethereum transacted from proof of work blockchain to a proof of stake network did happen 123 days ago. Now, to become a validator, an individual or organization must physically manage a validator client on the Beacon chain and hold 32 Ether. Now look, the number of validators has increased by 77.58% for the last 12 months. So definitely good news, but the sad news is because of Ethereum transitioning to Ethereum 2.0 or consensus layer, so far as the blocks are concerned, Ethereum is now becoming heavily censored and over 60% of the blocks are OFAC compliant. This at a macro level is definitely not ideal. Now guys, let's talk about some news from far west, and Daily Coin has reported that the Californian cannabis nursery Mendocino Clone Company turned to blockchain technology for assistance in keeping track of plant traits, asserting authenticity and marking clones with unique batch certificates, and the batch certificates provides a unique identifier block for each plant which is stored on the Ethereum blockchain. Now the article also discusses EMTRI, which is a project in late 2022, and they claim that it is a decentralized cannabis supply chain community dishing out crypto-related rewards for enthusiasts. And look guys, I very strongly feel that there are very limited use case of blockchain technology. Now will this thing work? I definitely don't think so. You need to always remember, when you talk about blockchain technology, the information is only as good as what is being input, particularly things like supply chain. You need to always remember the person who's updating the information, specifically when it's related to a physical product, has a very high degree to manipulate it, and unfortunately blockchain technology will not solve it. Now if you do want to get more information, drop me an email. We can have a Zoom conversation. I'll go ahead and explore in detail, because to explore it on voice platform would not be ideal. Now guys, let's talk about two news from UAE. And the first news is about DMCC, that is Dubai Multi Commodities Centre, to boost MENA region's $32 billion e-commerce sector. Now listen guys, all what I'm saying right now are bullet points directly written by ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is making my life so much easier. So the DMCC Multi Commodities Centre has launched the DMCC e-commerce ecosystem to accelerate the growth of e-commerce in the MENA region, and the current value of the e-commerce sector in the MENA region is $32 billion, and it's expected to reach $50 billion by 2025. The ecosystem will allow small and medium e-commerce companies to operate from a convenient location with easy access to workspaces, order fulfillments, and delivery options. And DMCC is currently home to over 290 companies in the e-commerce space, including Deliveroo, InstaShop, Carrefour, ClassPass, and Just Life. And the ecosystem aims to capitalize on ongoing demand in the sector. Now look guys, if you're working in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, you definitely need to check it out, because the ecosystem is being launched in partnership with the Middle East's largest storage service provider, the Box. And the Box and DMCC will offer an accelerator program to support e-commerce entrepreneurs and small-medium establishments. And the Box DMCC accelerator program will provide subsidy rates for storage and DMCC licensing. The program will also provide one-on-one mentorship sessions, tailored workshops, and access to exclusive networking opportunities with DMCC's community of over 20,000 businesses. Ahmad Bil Suleiman, who I've covered quite a lot in my podcast, the CEO of DMCC and the executive chairman, stated that the rapid digitization across the UAE and the wider region is driving growth in the e-commerce sector at an unprecedented rate. He also noted that this growth is compounded by trends such as social media influencers selling products through their channels and established brands increasingly turning to online sales. Now look guys, in my Metaverse Everything podcast, I did talk about influencers being in the Metaverse, and I do have an interview with the CEO of Metafluence, and Metafluence is essentially the hub for influencers in the Metaverse. So check out my episode with the CEO of Metafluence, Armin Bali. Now going back to the news, companies interested in joining the DMCC e-commerce ecosystem can choose from 3 packages, that is Basic, Starter, and Premier. Now listen guys, if you're a startup, or if you're trying to venture into the e-commerce sector, or if you're working into the payment sector, you definitely need to check it out, because through these packages, e-commerce businesses will receive up to 50% discount on DMCC license, co-working desk, or private office space and storage solutions through the Box. And Wadid Haddad, the founder and CEO of the Box, stated that storage, fulfillment, and last-mile delivery are critical to the success of many e-commerce businesses. He also mentioned that the Box is delighted to partner with DMCC to support the ever-growing needs of the e-commerce ecosystem. And DMCC's e-commerce business license cover a wide range of activities with the sector, including trading, payment services, delivery services, and related consulting services. And DMCC announced that it achieves its best ever year for new company registrations, attracting 3,049 new businesses to Dubai in 2022. And I just covered this earlier in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast. I believe it was in the first week of January. Now listen guys, this is an increase of 23% year on year, breaking the previous record of 2021 when DMCC registered 2,485 new entrants. And I'm very much sure that I definitely covered that news in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast as well. And the record growth was driven by prominent international demand, DMCC's continued work within key commodities sector, and the growing demand from blockchain and Web3 businesses for space at the DMCC Crypto Center. And the Crypto Center, guys, which I mentioned at the 1st of Jan, is now home to over 500 companies, and the growth was underpinned by DMCC's commitment to increasing the ease of setting up and doing business in Dubai. And blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies could play a huge role in the future of e-commerce, as it enables secure and transparent transactions, smart contracts, and provides more secure way of handling data and payments, which will be extremely crucial for the e-commerce sector. So what are you waiting for, guys? Definitely look out for the Box and DMCC. Now guys, the next news that I'm going to talk about is about Cheung Graduate School of Business, and they have launched the first global unicorn program with its first stop in Dubai. So let me try to give out some information. The programs will be offered in Dubai, UAE, Singapore and South Korea. And one thing to note is that the Dubai programs will be held on February 15th to 17th. And the program is designed for founders or co-founders of companies with at least Series A round funding that aspire to become unicorns, and senior leaders from leading venture capital firms and other investing entities like corporate venture capital or family offices looking for ideal candidates are also welcome to join, and executives from established businesses looking to invest in promising companies and senior government officials, NGO executives or public representatives trying to enhance regional entrepreneurial ecosystems can also join the program, and the program will provide unparalleled regional knowledge from GCC, RC, EP, and East Asia. And one reason why I do think that you need to check this out is because participants will learn how to harness the power of exponential tech such as Web 3.0, blockchain, smart functioning, and artificial intelligence. Participants will have the opportunity to build their own regional ecosystem with like-minded leaders, and the program will also offer access to hubs of entrepreneurship to fast-track business growth in the region. And the program will feature over 10 global unicorn company founders and CEOs, and over top 10 venture capital investment companies will also join the program roadshow. And the program will have 20 Chinese CEO and investors joining the program, and the program will feature top thought leaders and academics, including the former Chief Strategic Director of JD.com, top CKGSB professors, former Wharton Chair Professor, and 10 UAE senior government officials will be attending the program. Now look guys, I definitely think you definitely need to check it out, considering the fact that there's so much of information regarding Web 3.0, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. So that's all for today guys on the Crypto and Coffee Update from Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, or also check out my website that is www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website that is area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by White who asks, how do you see 2023 for the hype of NFT? Now to be honest, White, when I talk about NFTs, the only reason why there is so much of hype is because in 2021, there was an NFT which was sold for $69 million, and this was purchased by Meta. And the reason he purchased this was only because of making this hype. Now, ever since that news was out, trust me, White, everyone in Dubai particularly became experts in NFTs overnight. And I used to interact with them, and believe it or not, White, 99.99% were giving absolutely incorrect information. Now, that thing being said, White, I do understand that there are some brilliant use cases of NFTs. And one thing which I've often said in my podcast is Kevin O'Leary, who used to be the host of Shark Tank, he in his podcast with Anthony Pompliano did actually say that a lot of high net worthy individuals are definitely looking at NFTs as opposed to buying expensive watches. And I'm talking about watches which cost millions of dollars. Now listen, if these NFTs have some kind of tax rebate, I do think that the value of NFTs will try to continue. Now what happens in 2023, I really am not sure, because to be honest, the trend of NFT news did actually die down, and it was actually overtaken by Metaverse. But towards October or November, the volume of NFTs did actually pick up. Now going back to the question, how do I see 2023 for NFTs? Now to be completely honest, White, I do not see much momentum in NFTs, at least for the first 6 months. Now there are other areas of NFTs, that is ticketing or some artwork, which still might succeed. But when you talk about the artwork such as profile pictures and other things, I definitely do feel that they might gradually be dying down. Looks like it was definitely a fad. Now one thing which I always recommend people is not to buy, sell or flip NFTs. What you can do is, you can create your own artwork. And if your artwork is genuine, people would actually buy. And one thing which I was discussing with one of my business associates, the episodes that I release, I'm planning to release each episode as an NFT as well. But what is the use case of that? I really am not sure. Maybe if Crypto and Coffee Day becomes as popular, let's say, as Joe Rogan, then these episodes or some of the past predictions which I've said or something which I've said did actually come true, then it might have some value. Going back to your question, the first 6 months, I do feel it's going to be silent so far as NFT use case is concerned, but maybe in the second half, there might be some CBDC projects which also implement NFTs and there might be some news. But will it be the hype as what it used to be? I definitely, unfortunately, don't think so. But that thing being said, you know what? NFT does have some really strong use case and some strong fundamentals, but will that trend continue? I definitely do not think so. But once again, I'll be happy to be proven wrong. So that's all for today, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com and check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes of the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.